The bell above the door chimed like a distant silver flute. Alara stepped inside, escaping the cool breeze of the coastal evening. Every corner of the shop sparkled with strange and beautiful objects. Kale looked up from his workbench with a friendly, welcoming expression. Welcome to my humble collection of memories and seaside wonders, traveler. This place feels much bigger on the inside than it looks outside. Most people say that once they see the back shelves, Alara. My name is Alara, and I am searching for a special gift. I am Kale, the keeper of these trinkets and stories of the sea. Are you looking for something grand, or perhaps something very small? I want a souvenir that captures the feeling of the morning mist. That is a very poetic request for a Tuesday afternoon, my friend. I try to find the soul of every city I visit with my brush. An artist I always seeks the hidden details in the common things. Kale wiped his hands on his apron and stood behind the counter. The shelves were packed with miniature ships and bottled starlight. I noticed those glass lanterns hanging from the ceiling beams. They are filled with bioluminescent sand from the Whispering Caves. Do they glow like this every night without any fuel or fire? The light feeds on the memories of those who hold the glass. That sounds like a bit of local magic mixed with deep folklore. Magic is just science that we haven't found a name for yet. I like that perspective. It makes the world feel more alive. Look at these carved wooden dolphins leaping through imaginary waves. I made those myself using driftwood found after the Great Storm. The wood has a very smooth texture, like it was polished by time. Thousands of tides worked on that branch before I found it. Is there anything here that relates to the old lighthouse on the cliff? I have a small drawer dedicated specifically to the Watcher of the Coast. Kale pulled out a tray of silver pins shaped like tiny towers. They are incredibly detailed. I can even see the small stairs. Each pin is cast from a coin found in the old shipwrecks. Carrying one is said to help you find your way back home. I usually find my way back using my sketchbook and my heart. Then perhaps a pin is not the right choice for your journey. Let's look toward the shelf with the hand-painted porcelain. Those plates show the map of the stars as seen from here. The blue ink looks like it was mixed with the ocean water itself. We use a secret mineral from the cliffs to get that shade. My suitcase is far too small for such a delicate ceramic plate. Alara moved toward a basket filled with polished pearlescent shells. These look like they belong in a palace at the bottom of the sea. They're called whispering shells because of the sound they hold inside. Every traveler says they hear the voice of their favorite person. She picked up a spiraled shell and held it to her ear. The sound was like a soft hum of a song her mother sang. It is quite a strange sensation to hear music in a stone. The ocean has a very long memory of every song ever whistled. I could buy 10 of these and give them to my sisters. One shell is never the same as another in this magical basket. Kale smiled as he watched her wonder at the simple natural beauty. Do you have any souvenirs that I can use for my painting? I have brushes made from the hair of the Silver Mountain foxes. They hold the paint better than any synthetic brush in the world. I already have my favorite brushes in my leather travel bag. Then maybe you need a unique pigment found only on our shores. Kale reached for a row of small cork jars with colorful powders. This one is made from crushed emerald sea glass and salt. The color is so vibrant, it almost hurts my eyes to look. A little bit of this will make your landscapes look truly eternal. I will take the emerald green jar for my next coastal piece. I shall put it in a safe box so it does not spill. Is there something else, Alara, that feels like a real treasure? I am drawn to that ancient-looking compass in the glass case. That is the Starseer's compass, a very rare and old instrument. The needle does not point north like a regular magnetic device. Where does it point if it ignores the magnetic field of Earth? It points toward the thing you desire most at this very moment. That sounds like a dangerous tool for someone who is always lost, or a perfect tool for someone who is looking for inspiration. Alara looked at the needle as it spun slowly in a circle. It seems to be pointing directly at the door of this shop. Perhaps your heart wants to stay here for a little longer, Alara. Or maybe it wants to see what lies beyond that wooden door. Cale laughed and adjusted his anchor pendant with a steady hand. The price of the compass is a bit high for a simple souvenir. I'm a traveler on a budget, so I must be very careful. Gifts should not be a burden on the spirit or the wallet. Let's find something that fits perfectly into your pocket in life. I see a collection of small glass bottles with blue liquid inside. Those are captured reflections of the moon on the water's surface. How can someone possibly capture a reflection in a glass bottle? It involves a very complicated process of mirrors and midnight patience. The liquid stays bright as long as you keep it near a window. It looks like a tiny piece of the night sky is trapped here. My brother would love this for his desk in the crowded city. It will remind him that the horizon is always waiting for him. The glass is very thick and feels heavy in the palm of hand. Each bottle is hand-blown by the glassmakers in the lower village. I will take the one with the smallest silver cork on top. Cale placed the bottle on a soft velvet cloth to inspect it. There are no bubbles or cracks. It is a perfect specimen today. Do you offer any custom engraving for your wooden souvenirs, Cale? I can carve a name or a short date into any wooden surface. I have a small wooden box that needs a special inscription. Give me 5 minutes and my sharpest carving tool for the job. Alara watched as he worked with incredible speed and quiet focus. The smell of fresh cedar filled the air around the wooden counter. He carved the name of her home city in a beautiful script. This makes the box feel like it truly belongs to my story. A souvenir is just an object until you add a human memory. You speak more like a philosopher than a simple shopkeeper, Cale. Spending time with treasures teaches you a lot about human hearts. Is it difficult to say goodbye to these beautiful things every day? I am happy knowing they are seeing the world with people like you. They would be very bored if they stayed on my shelves forever. Alara noticed a small pile of hand-knitted scarves in the corner. Those were made by my grandmother using wool from the island sheep. The pattern looks like the waves crashing against the stone pier. She calls that pattern the sailor's return, a wish for safety. I will buy the blue one to keep me warm on the ferry. It is soft enough to be a cloud and strong enough for wind. My shopping basket is becoming quite a collection of coastal life. You have a very balanced selection of art, nature, and comfort. I want to remember the salt on my skin and the light. This city has a way of staying with you long after you leave. I can already feel the nostalgia even before I depart the port. That is the sign of a journey that was truly worth taking. Cale started to organize the items for the final tallying process. He used a small brass bell to call his assistant for more paper.
Tell me why you want to learn English. The 3 most interesting comments will get 10 English lessons absolutely free.
Before we finish, I must show you this small silver anchor. It looks much older than the other silver items on the tray. This was found at the bottom of the bay by a pearl diver. It has a tiny inscription in a language that no one speaks. Do you have any idea what those strange symbols might mean? Our legends say it is a protective charm for those who travel. It feels warm, almost like it has a tiny heart beating inside. Metal can hold the heat of the sun for a very long time. I think this anchor is the missing piece of my gift collection. It will look beautiful on the leather cord of my old satchel. Kale threaded a piece of dark brown leather through the silver loop. There, it is ready to accompany you on all your future paths. I feel like a real explorer from the old books of adventure. Every traveler is an explorer of their own destiny, Elara. I should write that down in my notebook before I forget it. She opened the leather book and scribbled the words with a smile. Your handwriting is as elegant as your taste in seaside souvenirs. I practice my lettering while I wait for the paint to dry. Patience is a rare virtue in this fast and busy modern world. The clock on the wall struck 5 with a deep copper tone. Time flows differently when you're surrounded by ancient treasures. I often lose track of the hours while I am carving driftwood. I wish I could stay and hear more stories about the sea. The sea has enough stories to last for 1,000 years, Elara. Will you be here if I return during the winter season? I stay open even when the snow covers the harbor entrance. The shop is even cozier when the fireplace is burning bright. I can imagine the smell of pine needles and hot cinnamon tea. I often serve tea to the travelers who brave the winter storms. You are a true guardian of the harbor spirit, Master Kale. I'm just a man who loves his home and its secrets. Let us calculate the price for the emerald pigment and Kale used a small abacus with blue beads to count the coins. The total is very reasonable for such a high level of. I will pay with these gold coins I exchanged at the bank. Gold is always welcome in a shop that values the old ways. He placed the coins in a heavy iron box under the counter. I will wrap each item in recycled paper and dry seaweed. Seaweed is a very creative and eco-friendly way to pack things. It keeps the glass safe and smells like the ocean breeze. Kale carefully folded the blue scarf around the glass moon bottle. The seaweed padding created a soft and natural protective layer inside. It looks like a gift from a mermaid queen or a king. I hope your brother enjoys the light of our coastal moon. He spends too much time under the flickering office neon lights. Everyone needs a little bit of natural magic on their desk. Elara watched his steady hands tie a knot with hemp twine. You have a very graceful way of handling these delicate objects. Objects have feelings too, and they appreciate being treated well. I will try to be just as careful when I unpack them. Use the small silver knife I gave you to cut the twine. Did you include a small silver knife in the package, Kale? It is a gift for a fellow artist who appreciates fine tools. Your kindness is as deep as the bay outside your window. I am simply paying forward the kindness I receive from others. The emerald pigment jar is tucked safely in the wooden box. I cannot wait to use it for my painting of a lighthouse. Please send me a photo of the finished painting if you can. I will send a postcard with a small sketch on the back. Postcards are the best way to keep a friendship alive across distance. I have a whole wall in the back room covered in postcards. They are from travelers who found their way home using my pins. That is a very beautiful collection of successful journeys, Kale. Each one is a reminder that my work has some small meaning. Your work has a huge meaning for people like me, believe me. I feel like I am taking a piece of your heart with me. My heart is large enough to be shared with the whole world. The sun is starting to dip below the horizon line outside. The sky is turning a deep shade of violet and burnt orange. This is the best hour for seeing the lighthouse beam turn on. I should go to the cliff to see it one last time. Take the path through the pine forest for the best view. I will follow the scent of the trees and the sound of waves. Your bag is packed and ready for the final leg of travel. It feels much heavier now, but in a very good way. May your satchel be full of beauty and your heart full of. I will carry these treasures with the greatest possible respect. Cale handed the final package to Alera with a slight bow. Thank you for choosing my shop for your seaside souvenirs today. Thank you for the stories and the silver anchor of protection. Alera stood at the door, holding her heavy bag of treasures. The shop felt warm and safe against the darkening evening sky. Cale leaned against his counter, his silhouette framed by lanterns. Don't forget to keep the moon bottle near the morning light. I will put on the highest shelf in my sunny studio. Goodbye, Cale, and thank you for being the highlight of my trip. Goodbye, Alera. May your colors always stay bright and true. She stepped out into the street and felt the cool salt air. The bell chimed one last time as the door closed slowly. She looked at the silver anchor hanging from her bag strap. It felt like a solid connection to this magical little port town. She started walking toward the cliff path as the first star appeared. The lighthouse began its slow, rhythmic rotation of golden light. She could see Cale's shop window glowing like a warm amber. This was the perfect souvenir, the feeling of being truly welcome. She opened her notebook and drew a quick sketch of the door. The ink flowed smoothly across the thick, cream-colored paper. I will never forget the smell of cedar and the sea glass. She reached the top of the cliff and looked at the vast ocean. The water was a dark mirror for the emerging silver moon. She felt small, but also very much a part of the universe. Her bag was full of objects, but her mind was full of light. Every gift she bought had a face and a voice behind it. That is the difference between a shop and a real treasure grotto. Cale was right. The best souvenirs are the ones with souls. She took a deep breath of the pine-scented mountain air. Tomorrow she would be on the ferry, heading back to the city. But a piece of her would always remain in the old port. She touched the wooden box in her pocket and felt the carving. The script was perfect, a reminder of her time in the sun. The lighthouse beam swept over her, a golden blessing of light. She turned and started the walk back to her small hotel room. Her footsteps were light on the ancient stone path tonight. The moon was high and the world was quiet and very peaceful. She would dream of emerald pigments and whispering seashells. And maybe she would dream of a shopkeeper with a golden. Adventure is not just about the places, but the people we meet. Alera was ready for her next chapter, wherever it might lead. The Starseer's compass was right. She found exactly what she needed. The story of the souvenir ended with a smile and a star.